Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Shai B'Shem Kakwadash. Shalom to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect out there. Shalom to you all. Anyway, I'm going to entitle this video, She Messed Around with the Left-Hand Side and It Bugged Her Out. So this is a video, and I did a video on her, quick video on this woman. I'm going to let you hear some of this video. This is The Love of Many Shall Wax Cold. Judgments put up by Remnant, say 144. Let me kind of come back. Let me see. Bear me for a minute. Okay, so this is the woman right here. She was involved in, she was a charmer, a astrologer, and she even had a spiritual name. You got to be careful with these women that you're dealing with. These women are, the lights are on upstairs, but there's nobody home. A lot of these women, majority, of these sisters that you deal with are bugged the hell out. These Latin women, they're heavy into Santeria or Brujeria. Look those words up. They like you. You want to leave her. You tired of her. She'll put roots on your ass. Their spiritual, what they grab at and hold is the spirits on the left-hand side. Because they say that when you study Santeria, it means saints, but it means good, like the good side. Brujeria comes from brew, which is brew. That's the left-hand side. They're both on the left-hand side. So she started reading books, and she probably saw I don't know how old she is, but she probably saw the movie The Craft. That was another, if y'all never saw that movie, it was a good movie. It showed you how the left-hand side and witchcraft works. And it was centered around four girls. I believe they were like seniors in high school. One of them was a sister. The other three were so-called, looked like Edomites. But they got involved in, the left-hand side. If you did some research on the left-hand side, witchcraft and so forth, they're under many different names. Like I said, Santeria, Brujeria, witchcraft, nature, And you had this guy, Nature Boy, and the woman and them simp-ass men followed his ass. A bunch of silly-ass women and some simp-ass men following this guy. So I believe they gave him life. Oh, can we forget my main man, Polite. Polite, hey, there's nothing on Polite. If you type in Polite, Brother Polite, Michael Nowak, what's going to come up is the latest video is going to be 7 months ago, because that's when they sentenced him. If you notice, nobody talks about him. There's nothing. It's like he never existed. Sarnetta doesn't talk about him. They don't even bring his. It's like he never existed. But ultimately, what did he do? He came against the prophets of the Lord. And he said he gonna get the Bloods and the Crips on him. Now the Bloods and the Crips, they want his ass. They want him. Because he went to one place in some club or whatever in Jersey, and them guys said, "We looking for you niggas." Now they realize that wait a minute, this guy has been involved in dealing with raping little girls. When have we been charged on that? We never been charged on that, because we don't do that. If somebody in the camp does that, they out. They out. We're gonna throw you under the bus. If the police question us, we're gonna say, "Yep, he did it. He told us he did it." Lock his black ass up. So, Sarnetta is gone. And who else did I mention? Oh, Nature Boy is gone. We never encountered Nature Boy, but he was a complete bug out. And then women, I call them the cat women. They were just bugged out. They were looking for some adventure and excitement in their life. Their black women their minds are not right. Anytime you deal with any sister, you tell me that they didn't have major fucking problems. And every last one of them, the college ones, they can never pay that debt. $100,000 in debt, $50,000 in debt. But they got it all, and then they think like Esau, cause they've been to these college. They like that, holding the books and walking to college. They got that certain look to them. I went to college a couple of years. I said college is bullshit. When I was a kid, I said college is bullshit. Even my professor said this. Two of my professors, which were men, they said college is basically bullshit. That's what they told me in fucking college. The only benefit you get from college is if you become a professor or a PhD, or which is a shrink. That's what this one, I remember his name, Esposito, Professor Esposito. And he said his father was a sanitation guy and he retired, and he said, I can never make the money that my father made as a sanitation worker. He said I should have followed my father's footsteps and become a sanitation worker. I won't be teaching y'all this class right now. I'll be retired. He said he'll never do as good as his father, even though he's has a PhD. But he said the one benefit he got is he got that title in front of his name. So when they say his name, they'll put the PhD in front of it. That's the only benefit that dude had. All right? And if we went to college now, let's say we, as knowing that we're Israelites, they'll kick us out the schools, especially when it comes to history. Hey, they ain't gonna invite you to no debates where Edomites, Yale, and Harvard, because we'll fuck them up. They know that they're losing. Bear with me while I'm ranting right here. This thing with Putin bringing out the black, there's a big controversy on that. We've been talking about that for years. We have books. I have one book called The Icons, Russian Icons. I have this little, and I got these books from the Metropolitan Museum of Art in the book section. I don't even think they carry them books no more. We bought, and them books were cheap. Them big books with color pages. They were cheap back then. If you can find a Russian icon book, it's going to cost you some money. But anyway, let me come back over here. Let me come back front and center. So you got this woman, good looking woman. If you seen her, she kind of look, and a woman's open when they look at you. Yeah, they kind of look, you kind of sneak a peek, and then you notice that you look at her, then you walking past each other, then she turns back. You might say, excuse me, sis, can I talk to you for a minute? Okay, yeah. You know how that go. We know how to read, as grown men, we know how to read body languages, all right? You know that whether a woman like you or not by her body language. So you might get with her, exchange the numbers, go out. She ain't going to say nothing yet, but eventually it's going to come out. She's going to tell you that she's a witch. And you're going to deal with her, and you're going to wind up getting stabbed up. And what was wrong with this nigga? There's a movie right here. She pulled out a knife, stabbed this simp up, took her kids, drove down the whatever, the 105 free, whatever, out there in Cali. I don't know them freeways. And threw her fucking kids out the car. This crazy bitch. And then crashed head on into a tree, killing herself. And I think the only survivor was a 9-year-old daughter. Fucking bug outs, man. Thanks to witchcraft. So anyway, let me get into the let me let you listen to a little bit of this.
A lot of our foundation.
Learning about a new disturbing layer to this tragedy.
A lot of our foundations as a society are toxic. They're ungrounded and they're unrealistic.
LAPD confirmed.
So I bring you witchcraft. I bring you the left-hand side. And she sounds, you listen to her, she doesn't sound bugged out. She ain't stuttering. You know? And she was an influencer, so a lot of these dumb hammerhead women, not just the Israelite women, but other women were following her. It said she was an influencer, But what did she wind up doing? So now let's just go on to the precepts. I don't want to make this long. Really, you got to start at the 10th verse. When you read Isaiah 47 from the first verse, the whole chapter, you realize starting from the 10th verse, actually the 9th verse, it tells you in Isaiah 47 that their power comes from the left-hand side. Clinton's wife, Hillary Clinton, she idolized, what's her name, FDR's, Eleanor Roosevelt. She idolized her as a woman, and Eleanor Roosevelt was a straight-up warlock, a witch, so you can understand. They had seances, because I think there was something, I'm not going to look for Hillary Clinton she had a seance to try to bring back them spirits of them presidents and so forth to get answers. These people are on the left-hand side, man. Matter of fact, Jake, that are entertainers, they're all on the left. They're all introduced to the left-hand side. They all have to be a part of these rituals. So then let me go ahead and read. Okay, I'll start at 10. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Esau gets their power from the left-hand side. I'm so tempted to read this whole chapter. Oh, let me start at 8. Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasures, that dwelleth carelessly, that saith in thine heart, thy mind, I am, and none else beside me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. That's the spirit of America. Like, Trump. He's, he got that red hat that says MAGA, make America great again. America's not going to be great again, and you're not going to make it great, whether you become the president or not. You may be the one that welcomes in the missiles. But these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. Actually, 1 hour. The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, because of your wickedness, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. Everything that this man does, his God is the left-hand side, the spiritual demon Satan. So this chick that was an influencer, her power come from the left-hand side. And she bugged out over the solar eclipse, which we didn't bug out on that. We just simply said the solar eclipse, whether it be a solar eclipse, lunar eclipse, planets aligning one another, or stars aligning one another with the earth and the sun and all that, we just say that they're signs. A comet, what's this comet? What is it, Hades comet, I think it was called. I remember when I forget the exact year. I believe it was 92, if I'm not mistaken. But you can physically see the comet, and it had 7 tails. 7 means completion, the end of something. And you look up in the sky, and it didn't even look like it was moving. It was like a picture in the sky, and you can clearly see 7 tails. They said that was unusual because comets only have 1 tail, 1 streak of light behind it, so to speak. It has 7 tails. When you go to Genesis 1 verse 14, it tells you that the sun, the moon, and the stars are for days, seasons, months, and years, and for signs. And when you look up the word sign, the word sign is an omen. It says for that. So we see everything, man. When you come into this truth, we see everything. Oh, we see the MOTB. Others don't see it, but we see it. Why do we see it? Because Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai opened up our eyes fully to understand these scriptures. And these other camps that teach contrary to what we teach concerning the MOTB, they're going to have to eat their words. And watch how many people leave. But some of them will stay because they're bugged out. For thou hast, and I'm going to say this in general, Jake is basically weak and stupid, and they don't have their own mind. Jake is basically followers. Most of you men out there are simps. You follow a particular group, and they put a spell on you. Like that song, I put a spell on you because you're mine. For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, talking about Esau, thou hast said, none seeth me. Everybody sees you now. That's why you cut these videos. If we say something that hits you in the rib, you're gonna take that video down. And but the proof is the C Ragamuffin. When anytime we put up something, even remotely talking about that, they kind of shifted to the right or the left. You took that down as medical, medical misinformation. You took down pages. I did this one video back in, had to be 2013 or so, 2014, maybe 20, around there. It was on Esau. And I did a whole thing on Esau. It's like that's back when you only had a 10-minute, the YouTube, you had 10 minutes to do your video. So I do a part 1, part 2, part 3. Every time I got to part 3, on this thing on Esau, because I pulled out some information, they took it down. And back then, they wasn't taking videos down. And I said, well, why did they take it down? I put up another one, they took it down. No warning, no nothing. They didn't tell me why they took it down. They just took it down because they know who they are. They know that they're the E's. They know that they're the E's in the game. I had to say that. Your wisdom comes from the left-hand side, from the spiritual demon Satan. And the spiritual demon Satan and these demons are lying to you now. They're telling you that you're going to succeed, and you're not going to succeed. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. Therefore shall evil meaning a bad time. When the missiles hit Babylon the Great, that's going to be evil. Magnified, come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it rises. When this destruction hits you, it's going to come as a thief in the night. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly. The missiles are going to hit suddenly, which thou shalt not know. It's going to come as a thief in the night. Stand now with thine enchantments and with thy multitude of sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth, if so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. You're not going to prevail with the left-hand side. Let me look up the word sorceries. Sorceries. Kashap. Sorcery, witchcraft. Look, Nahum 3. Whoredoms and families through her witchcraft. Micah 5:12, and I will cut off witchcraft. So that's what this chick got involved with, is witchcraft and sorceries. Right, she was an astrologer. Astrologers. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. So where did this chick learn this? She learned it from Esau. She read books that Esau put together, Edomites put together, because their power is only from the left-hand side. They can only do things by consulting with things from the left-hand side. The stargazers, another word for astrology. A stargazer is an astrologer. The monthly prognosticators, meaning you got these fortune tellers. And that's all in the city. If you go down to certain parts of Manhattan, you'll see these tarot card readers. And one time I parked there, this was around like 14th Street. I had to take my woman to a specialist, and it was on 14th Street, and I was parked on 15th Street in Manhattan on the east side. And this place was an eye specialist where if there was a problem with your eyes and regular doctor can't deal with it, they sent you to this place and they'll hook your eyes up. They gave her steroids, and her problem went away. But anyway, I was sitting there for about a good hour. This was years ago. And there was a tarot card reader. And the only people that went up in there were women, Edomites, and Jake. And I remember one Jake woman, she went up in there and she looked to see if anybody saw her going in there, and she went up in there. So you Jakes are heavy into, but they don't tell you, these women are not going to tell you what they're into. There's things that you don't tell your woman. You don't tell your woman certain things. I ain't going to tell this nigga nothing. Well, she got the same attitude. So a lot of these women that you laying with are straight up demons. And they're casting spells on your ass, especially them Latin women. No enchantment against Israel, so we don't worry about that. Stand up and say, well, my woman, when she was a kid, her cousins and her, her older cousins and aunts and shit, they were all into that shit, and they put her in there when they made her wear the white dress and all that, and she used to tell me these stories. This one chick I used to date, Latin chick, she told me that after we knew each other, she said she was a witch, and she said that the police, if there was a murder, they would call her, and she would solve the case, you know. So the demons was straight up dealing with this chick. She broke it down. She didn't break when we first met. You know, maybe a year in, she said, "Yeah, I can read spirits. Yeah, I'm into Santeria, which is number brujeria. If you live in the city, you know, live in the boroughs, outer boroughs, they have those botanicas, which that's a Hebrew word, by the way. Have all these different statues, and who do you see going up in there? Women, and then you'll see our women, the Latin tribe women. Certain days they wear all white. That goes back to the church. Black women, they wear all white. What is that, Ezekiel 13, if I'm not mistaken? I hadn't gone through that. So these women, if you go to the church, really the church is the left-hand side. It said the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. So what is ultimately going to come upon you? Death, mourning, destruction, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. It said, behold, they shall be as stubble. What's stubble? Look up the word stubble. It's the residue left after fire destroyed it. The fire, what fire? The fire from the missiles. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. Like Rick Moranis said in Ghostbusters. He said, you shall perish in flames. There shall not be a coal to warm at, nor fire to sit before it. Now what does that mean? That means that after the smoke is cleared, nobody's going to be in the soils of America. They said, well, there's coal in America. Because after the destruction comes, right, it's going to block out the moon and the sun. And you're going to have what's called a nuclear winter. The temperature's going to drop. The temperature's going to heat up. And then when things cool down, everything going to cool down. A nuclear winter. But the Most High is going to work it. If the Most High didn't do nothing after the missiles dropped, everybody on the planet would die. So the Most High is going to speed things up. And if you can't see that this place, Babylon, that this is Babylon the Great, and that it's going to be utterly destroyed by fire, by missiles, sent by Gog, not Gog and Magog, Gog from Gog, or of Gog. Thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even the merchants. From thy youth they shall wander, every one to his quarter, none shall save thee. These are these other nations. When they see this place in flames, they're not going to come to help. They're going to be watching from a distance, meaning they're going to watch on the news. It's going to be breaking news around the whole planet. And they're not going to see it coming. They said, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. You're going to be watching the news. The smartphones are going to go off. I'm talking about around the world. And they're going to be like, oh shit. And they ain't going to have no American reporters unless they're stationed outside of America. CNN will be around, but it's only CNN International. So they're going to be talking about it. And when the World Trade Centers went down, that was breaking news around the whole world, the whole planet. So you think this is not going to be breaking news? When it says they stood afar off, that meaning they're in their respective countries watching it on the news. And they're going to show shots from distances of nothing but fire. And we're the only group that teaches that. The One Westers teach that. That's why the major groups of the former One Westers is on that damn hate group list. IUIC is on there, GMS is on there, Sakari's on there, ISUPK is on there. These are all, Sakari is part of us, which makes them, when the leadership of the Sakari came up, they came up under us, GMS, which were One West. So they pretty much teach a One West doctrine. They carry the same sign, right? So that's why we're considered hate groups. Beni Amin, the Mona Israel, they're not on the group on the list. These Yah Israelites ain't none of them on the rosters. They ain't on the list. We're considered a threat, but we're a spiritual threat. We are a spiritual threat. So anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom. On to the next one. Shalom.